What's up, sports fans? This is Ryan, DFS 5-pack. We're going to talk over the Saturday night baseball slate. We're going to stick with the standard schedule that we've had the last couple of days or so, whereas we'll just do members only, free to the public. We will have a write-up for all paying customers, and that'll be out sometime this afternoon. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to have Bellman run through everything yesterday, but he is still out of the country, so I will take back over for the day. We'll run this through again tomorrow, and then we get a couple days off for the All-Star break. So, weather today doesn't appear to be playing a major factor. I have some interest in the St. Louis pitcher, and it's good to know that it looked like rain, but it's yellow-green, so we're probably fine. And the wind is blowing in today, which helps. So as far as the pitchers go today, early day projections show the most likely chalk pairing is Musgrove and Freddie Peralta, which means a lot of times I'm pretty good with riding chalk pitchers. Those are not my guys today. I'm actually looking at the third guy, Walker Buehler, and there is definitely a possibility that early day projections are off and Walker Buehler becomes one of the more popular pitchers on this one. Like, you guys know I'm a monster Freddie Peralta fan. Obviously, he's a Brewers guy. But he's really had his struggles against Cincinnati this year. So I like Walker Buehler against arguably the worst team in baseball, the Arizona Diamondbacks, at home tonight. Last time we saw these guys, he absolutely cut him up. We've seen a couple of upside starts out of Walker Buehler today. So for me, he's my SP1. I will take him over Freddie Peralta. I'll spend the extra 400, no problem. And then as far as Musgrove goes, look, I get it. Colorado's awful. They're terrible on the road. But there's also kind of like the common sense approach right here that Musgrove hasn't had like a big game in months. I mean, just look through his game log. This guy has not topped 21 points in forever. So I'm definitely not scared of fading him. I know Colorado's awful. The spot's really, really good. He's popular a little bit more often than he should be. But I'm probably going to take a chance on a different SP2. And it probably won't be Musgrove for me. Now, if you like him, the matchup is pristine. Colorado is terrible. I completely understand it. Could this be his reintroduction kind of breakout game? Yeah, it's a great spot for it. But I'm not worried about Musgrove breaking the slate personally. As far as Garrett Cole goes, no thanks, right? I mean, talk about a fall from graces. We'll talk sticky substance stuff all day long, but definitely not. Patrick Sandoval has pitched pretty well recently. I was trying to make a case for the Seattle stack because they're going to be low owned. I just don't like them enough to do it. You know how much we love German Marquez. He's been really, really good lately. It takes some balls to make this play right here. Now, he's done it against Seattle, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis. Not exactly murderer's row. And San Diego is really, really good and will probably make him work. I don't think he's out of play. I'm a big Marquez guy. Matt's a big Marquez guy. This is a tough play to make, but do not be surprised that at the end of the day, Marquez outscores Joe Musgrove. And just a fraction of the ownership. So it's a little ballsy for me, but I can get on board with anybody who's got the stones to make this play today. Where I think I land, though, I think I'm going to go all the way down. So I've been a Kim fan. I enjoyed watching him pitch last year. His pitch count is now elevated. He gets actually a pretty good spot for me against the Cubs, who have not won a lot of baseball games in recent memory. He got the wind blowing in today. He's looked the part the last couple of times out. Going deeper into the ball games, not giving up a lot of hard contact. Now, he's not a big strikeout pitcher. So if you want to play for upside, like big upside, yeah, Musgrove's got more of it. Marquez has more of it. Hell, Chris Flexen has more of it. Definitely does. So he's another guy. I like him, but there's no real risk in fading him. He's not going to be popular. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and get you 30 or 40. You're definitely more likely to get that. You're probably more likely to get that from Caleb Smith than you are from Kim. We kind of glossed right over Chris Flexen. This one's kind of interesting. In the same way that the Rockies stack is kind of interesting because there's going to have absolutely no ownership today, Chris Flexen is a guy who's going to get picked on a little bit today. The Angels are going to be a popular stack today because his name is not really household. But Flexen's pretty good. I know Bellman and I talked about him for quite a long time on, I want to say 2 or 3 starts ago. It's not reliable. He's not a major strikeout pitcher, but he's very capable of giving you, 5+. This is a guy with 1, 2, three, four, and I think if we took one more, if we could go 11 deep, he's got like 5 good starts in his last 11. Now they've come against Texas, not good. Colorado, not good. Minnesota, definitely not great. Texas and everything like that. So they weren't great teams, but I don't know. Other than Ohtani, the Angels aren't exactly scary either. So I think it's an interesting play. He's going to have no ownership today, and it is entirely plausible that Flexen outscores a bunch of the pitchers on this list. So when it comes down to it, there's also the side, if you have the money and you want to go Peralta Buehler, that works as well. As much as I don't love Freddie Peralta today, because Cincy has a really, really good approach to him, they really make him work. They don't swing at his stuff outside of the zone. If he is on, he could easily just drop a 25 spot today. And that's probably going to outscore the vast majority of all these pitchers down here. So this is my build right here, but I might jump off Kim if I feel like I got extra money and that I can go up to. Again, even though I don't love Musgrove today, if I had extra money, he has more upside than Kim, and his floor is similar. He has struggled over his past 2. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. It does get me a little interested in the idea of a Rockies stack, because on a 12-game slate where I don't love any of the offenses, they are going to be unowned. Like, you can get Trevor Story at like probably just a couple ownership percentages, and a bunch of the other Rockies fans I own. It's not a great play on paper. They're not good. But let's just hypothetically say Musgrove struggles again. You don't have to beat a lot on this slate, because there aren't a lot of stacks primed to go off. And if you're a little bit different with that one, it's an intriguing way to look at today, albeit very, very risky. All right, as far as offenses go, in the first game, again, we got the winds blowing in, not so nice in Chicago today. You got Zach Davies, who has been real good lately. I don't want to throw him for DFS, but he's also really affordable and has pitched well recently. So, take out that Miami start. He was awful. So I'm not really interested in stacking against him. I was trying to talk my way into a St. Louis stack as well because they're unowned. I just don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. You guys know I kind of like Kim, which means I'm not going to like the Cubs. And I like Kim even more if Chris Bryant's out the lineup. He's day-to-day. He didn't play yesterday. They didn't put him on the IL, though, so it is possible he is back today. Obviously, it's just a better play if he's out. He did pinch hit yesterday, though, with the double. Big one, actually. So he's got a decent chance to start today. All right, next game, you got Cincy against Milwaukee. I'm probably not going to use Peralta, but that doesn't mean I want to stack the Reds. Just because Peralta hasn't been great doesn't mean he got killed by the Reds. He just didn't have the big strikeout numbers. They worked him and everything like that. Also, Brewers lost yesterday, so they did not utilize the best portions of their bullpen. So if this game's close or Milwaukee's ahead, then you lead your way into one of the better bullpens in baseball. So it's not a good spot for Cincinnati. As far as the Brewer bats, though, go, I'm very intrigued by the stack of the Brewers tonight. Gutierrez, coming off a good start. He's on my good side because I used him against KC the other day. He was solid. But prior to that, had been giving up a lot of long balls, walking a good number of hitters, giving up a good number of hits. Looked like he'd been kind of just toe-tapping his way through these starts before really, really getting blown up. He's got blow-up potential right here. And while the Brewers won't be, like, unowned, they're not going to be super high-owned. Yelich will get love today, but you can stack with or without him. Should be a day where Narvaez will be in the lineup. Obviously, he's one of the better hitting catchers in baseball. Rowdy Tellez is a guy that might get a little love because he's going to be cheap. Also, every opportunity he's not in the starting lineup today. So take a look at Keston Hiura. Real buying signs over the last 2 days. He had 2 doubles in the opener and then a double and a walk last night. He's not a guy that walks a lot, and he can easily have a big game for you today. Jace Peterson. He's the other Brewer going to get a little off. He's just been on a hot streak for a while, and he's very, very affordable. Luis Urias, quietly 12 home runs this year, hitting up at the top of the lineup. Before last night, coming off monster games back and forth. Then the other guy is Willy Adames. He's played excellent since getting to Milwaukee. His year-round numbers, the average looks low, but let's forget that he was batting like 190-something when he played for Tampa. This dude's batted like about 300 for Milwaukee with a lot of pop, a lot of big hits, and he is going to be like virtually unowned today. Yelich will get a little bit of love, but I'm not sure how much. Yelich just hasn't been great. He's more name than substance at this point. And if you want to be super different, stack the Brewers without Yelich. Get Avi in there instead. You got Jackie Bradley, maybe Tyrone Taylor. So they are a stack I'm definitely considering today. As far as the Yankees against Houston go, it looks like the Yankees are getting a little bit of ownership love today. It's not that people probably love the Yankees against Greinke. It's that there's not a lot of great spots on here, and at least they have big names. So no thank you to the Yankees for me today, especially within the GPP format, which is what we mostly stick to in baseball. I would actually play the Astros over the Yankees. I think the Astros stack is a bold, but a call that I like. Look at all the home runs Garrett Cole's been giving up lately. Not going to get a ton of love. Actually very, very good. Hits for power. Love Alvarez today, even if it's just a one-off. He is homered in 2 of his 3 career at-bats off Garrett Cole, and now Cole is definitely slipping. I like the Alvarez call for a bomb today at very low ownership. Like Betts and Yelich and those guys will eat up a lot more ownership than Alvarez for the high-priced outfielders. Give me Yordan Alvarez with the home run call today. So the more I think about it, the more I'm really considering the Astros. Now, they had to toss Correa on the IL the other day, which is bad because you lose one of their better hitters, but good because you get potentially a cheaper piece. And I probably won't go balls to the wall on the Astros, but like Alvarez is a guy I like. Tucker, Brantley, you can run on Garrett Cole, and I'm probably not really interested in the Yankees. All right. Arizona against LA, Smith against Buehler. You know that I like Buehler a lot tonight. He's going to be my definite SP1 for this situation, which means I have no interest in Arizona bats. As far as Caleb Smith against the Dodgers go, so for years the Dodgers have struggled more against lefties. Caleb Smith, not great last time out, had been pitching pretty well though. This is a guy who was pretty good a couple years ago too. So I don't love the Dodgers tonight, but it is worth mentioning Mookie Betts will get a lot of love. He'll be one of the more popular outfielders on here. I think he's a guy that if you're playing cash games, he looks a very good look as a high-priced outfielder. I even put him on the cover today because I wanted to make sure that we talked him up and brought him up. Turner will get a little bit of love. I'm also probably not looking to use the Dodgers, especially not the popular Dodgers right here. They're not as good against lefties. Haven't been for forever, right? So, I don't know. Dodgers don't really do it for me today. I respect Caleb Smith, so probably not where I'm going to go. All right, San Diego against Colorado. And you can kind of see what I talked about with there's no offenses you're set to love today. This isn't, the Blue Jays against Matt Harvey where everybody wants to do it. Marquez has been phenomenal lately. So I think the Tatis fade in GPPs is kind of a good one. Now, you guys know I'm a monster Tatis fan. I mean, who isn't, right? This guy is, he is just sensational. Just, point blank, right? Marquez has been really good. Tatis is set to be the most popular shortstop on the slate by a decent amount. So I think just being different at shortstop in GPPs and just hoping and praying that he doesn't single-handedly beat you, which he can't. He's amazing. Trevor Story, who is not as good as Tatis, but owns similar upside on any given day, will be a fraction of the ownership of Tatis. That's an interesting GPP difference for me because who's better, Marquez or Musgrove? I don't know, man. It's close. At the beginning of the year, it looked like Musgrove. Right now, it looks like Marquez. I think it's a close call. Tatis is better than Story, but Story owns all the same upside. I am interested in the Colorado stack, especially if you set multiple lineups. It's just because it's going to be unowned, with your Tapias, your McMahons, and everything like that. No ownership. So I don't really like the Padres today. All right, so we get to this last game. So we kind of talked through Chris Flexen. Well, I think it's like a bolder call, but an interesting call. The flip side of that is there's not a lot of great places to go today, so I completely get why the Angels guys are going to be relatively popular. Ohtani is going to be popular. He's so good. He should be popular all the time. So, yeah, I think he's a cash lock, and quite frankly, he could do a lot worse than GPPs. Jared Walsh having a nice season. Again, expensive, but, he's kind of earned this price tag throughout the year. David Fletcher, I believe, hit his first home run last night of the year. Is going to be popular. and he's a great cap space guy. 2,800, absolutely scorching hot right now. Even homered last night, multiple hits in 4 straight. David Fletcher's a great look in cash games and probably a really solid look everywhere. The Ohtani Fletcher 1-2 combo is going to be real popular. Now, the flip side of the Angels is maybe you just play those two. Other people might start stacking other guys on the team just because that, but I mean, the rest of their roster is terrible right now. You got Upton, Rendon, and Trout all on the IL, which means you have cheap pieces, but those cheap pieces isn't very good. If you want to be really different, play Flexen and Ohtani together. Ohtani hits a solo home run, get to his points, and Flexen's really good outside of that. I don't know, just an idea. And as far as Seattle bats go, look, you want to go with Haniger? Okay. Nice power, back-to-back games with home runs, seen it well right now. That one's definitely works for me. I just can't get excited about the rest of the Seattle guys tonight. So, as you can tell, I'm probably going to end up stacking Milwaukee, maybe Houston. I might put those two teams together. If I have the money, throw some Ohtani in there. Again, I like the idea of Colorado. Probably not going to have the stones enough to actually run that one out there myself. And I'm definitely playing Walker Buehler, but SP2 is going to take a little bit more thought for the rest of the afternoon. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Have a great Saturday, and see you tomorrow.